This is going to be an exciting Dave Day, I guarantee it. First, let's welcome Dave Seaman, Standard Speaker Sports Editor, to our studio. I'm Ken Kara. Dave, let's start with our local sports talk. I'm local cross country. Corey McCormick from North Schuylkill. Dave, she is scary good. I was at the Schuylkill League cross country meet, and I got this. I even said this in the story. There's a story running this week on SSP TV News featuring Corey McCormick, and I was getting this nice shot. You know, it's so beautiful at Tuscarora State Park, and all of a sudden I got scared. I got terrified, and it was Corey McCormick. I didn't expect her to reach me that fast, and she started fast, had that lead early, and just ended up winning and setting a league meet record and also a course record as she's the Schuylkill League champion. Impressive sophomore group at Shenandoah Valley for the boys. They're also featured on SSP TV News. And the Hazelton area boys, Dave, they win a Wyoming Valley Conference championship. Zach Kiner and a bunch of them having very, very successful seasons. And the girls as well winning Wyoming Valley Conference Division I, I believe.
Yeah, they won Division I title, and a lot of balance on both teams. I mean, you talk about Zach. Zach's had an outstanding season, but he's had a lot of help from the likes of, Gabe McKittrick's had an outstanding season as well. He finished an impressive third at the conference meet. Nick Hable, sophomores, had an outstanding year. And there's a lot of balance there that, that's what you need to win team meets in cross country. Cougars have proven that all season. They lost early in the season. I think that kind of motivated them a little bit, and they head to the district meet with a whole lot of momentum.
Dave, how about this one on Friday night? It's going to be North Schuylkill and Pottsville. Pottsville will actually visit North Schuylkill in football, battle for the Schuylkill League Division I championship. Both teams with only one loss on the year, and both of those losses to a Wyomissing team. Pottsville lost 21-20 in overtime. North Schuylkill lost 31-14. North Schuylkill just seems to get better and better every week, Dave. They have that powerful running game we've mentioned with the likes of Jaden Leiby, Zach Shawansky, and Tyler Elsden. Also have that very strong defense. I mentioned, I think, Dylan Dietz a few times this season with interceptions. This should be an electric atmosphere and exciting football game.
Yeah, I mean, North Schuylkill's been in these types of games over the past two seasons, so and they're at home, so it gives the Spartans maybe a little bit of an edge, but don't discount the Crimson Tide because they've had an outstanding season as well. It started with a big win over Hazelton area, and except for that one little hiccup, an overtime loss while missing, they've been more or less dominant as well. They went to Tamaqua early in the season, and turned out a really key win to get them going during the season, and it's going to be fun to watch Coal Region football at its best.
And Dave, we'll close up. I'm very excited about this. As a soccer fan, there's a double-header, 2 playoff games at Harmon Guy Stadium this week. That will be on Tuesday as the Hazelton area boys and girls have games. Both playing Scranton?
Yes, they're both playing Scranton.
Okay, so they both play Scranton. And the Hazelton area field hockey team, they have a home playoff game too, right, against Honesdale this Thursday. So we have all that going on this week. Make sure you're reading the Standard Speaker to stay up to date. Moving on, Dave, Penn State wins in the whiteout against a very good Michigan team. Michigan impressive making that comeback. I was so impressed by Shea Patterson, their quarterback, putting up with the pressure from Penn State, making those throws, helping get his team back in that game, and then the rushing game opens up off of that. But Penn State does hold on, Dave, and I think Donnie Collins, the article in the Standard Speaker headline was, the Lions did just enough. And that's what they have been doing, Dave, kind of just enough to beat Iowa, just enough to beat Michigan. Will just enough be enough?
Oh, well, that's a $1 million question the rest of the season because it's not going to get any easier. I mean, if you thought those were, heart palpitation inducing games, I think the next several are going to be that way. When you look at going to Michigan State, Penn State and James Franklin have not had much luck at Spartan Stadium over the past few seasons. Then you get a bye, which probably comes at a good time after all this emotion that you're spending over the past 3 games, and then you have to go to Minnesota and look at the Gophers. They're undefeated, playing very, very well, and it might not be a game day atmosphere at like ESPN might not be at Minnesota because there's another game at Alabama featuring LSU and Alabama that same day, but that's going to be a big game as well. But if you're a Penn State fan, you have to focus on Michigan State. Michigan State coming in off 2 tough losses. They lost to Ohio State and then they lost to Wisconsin, and then they had a bye. While Penn State was getting beat up against Michigan a little bit, the wear and tear in that game, Michigan State had a bye to lick its wounds and get ready for Penn State. And we know how Mark D'Antonio has fared against Penn State, and you just got to be ready for a great game.
Dave, I was hoping you wouldn't say that. I was hoping you were going to say, listen, the heart palpitations are over, Ken. You could relax the rest of the year as a Penn State fan. Notre Dame will actually take on Michigan this weekend.
I mean, you look at Notre Dame also. They had a week off too.
Yeah.
after a win over USC. Then they stayed all day watching on Saturday, watching games and watching Michigan battle against Penn State. And Notre Dame's looking its wounds from that game against Georgia yet. I mean, that's still fresh in their minds, and they know to get back in the playoff chase that they have to win. They have to win out. And facing a team against Michigan, you don't know what Michigan team's going to show up. If it's a Michigan team that showed up against Penn State over the last 2.5 quarters, it's going to be a battle because Michigan really showed why they were considered the favorite in the Big Ten East this season. They played well. You talk about Shea Patterson; he's an outstanding quarterback, and they started getting those wide receivers involved a little bit. Their wide receivers are really good. They're talented, and they have a strong offensive line, a veteran offensive line, and don't forget they're playing with a new offense. So it took a little while for that to gel, and I think it really showed itself against Penn State, against a really good defense.
Every time we roll around to this time of year, it's exciting, but especially so this year. We hope you're all enjoying it and following along on SSP TV News here on Community NEPA News and, of course, in the Standard Speaker with Dave Seaman and Steve Stallone.